So welcome students to this 15 days online e-EDP program which is being introduced by the Institute of Company Secretary of India under new training structure which we are going to implement from 3rd February 2021 onwards. Because if you go back then in pursuant to the CS Amendment Regulation 2020 which was made effective from 3rd February 2020 and in which we had already given relaxation to the students, those who are already under the earlier training structure, to start their training within the 6 months. And unfortunately, we face some of the situation like COVID pandemic, where again we considered the request of the students and they were given relaxation of another 6 months for continuing in their earlier training structure, which is going to be completed on 2nd February 2021. So accordingly, as per the regulation, we need to implement the new training structure with effect from 3rd February 2021. So now in this new training structure, as you know that you need to complete 30 days, that means 1 month executive development program, out of which 15 days you can pursue through online, anywhere, anytime basis, which we are going to offer on our e-learning platform through LMS. And at the same time, you can also need to undergo 15 days EDP, that is Executive Development Program, which are being conducted physically on classroom mode in different regions and chapters. So, let's start with the online 15 days Executive Development Program. And the first session of this 15 days online training program is about the CS profession, its opportunities, challenges, and what is the future roadmap of this profession. And in order to discuss this topic today, we are fortunate to have CS Ashish Mohan, the Secretary of the Institute, and who has given our time to be here with us to address the students on this newly launched online 15 days executive development program. Thank you very much, sir, and welcome to this program. And before we start, let me take this opportunity to say brief about the introduction of the CS Ashish Mohanji. He is a fellow member of the Institute of Company Secretary of India. CS Ashish Mohan had a brilliant academic record, having secured first rank in both LLM as well as LLB examination from prestigious universities in India. He is also the recipient of the gold medal from the Governor of Kerala. He also holds his credit a lot of scholarship and awards from various institutions in academics and in professional endeavor. Being a qualified insolvency professional under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016, CS Ashish Mohan is a member of ICSI IIP. Having a total experience of about 2 decades in corporate laws, corporate restructuring, due diligence, SEBI laws, insolvency laws, commercial laws, CS Ashish Mohan has served in the capacity of a company secretary, compliance officer, legal head in a number of reputed listed and other companies, after which he moved to the practicing side. Presently, he is holding the position of the Secretary of the Institute of Company Secretary of India with effect from 1st June 2020. So, welcome, sir, and pleasure to have you with us today. And since the topic for the discussion today is about the CS profession and its opportunities, so I'll request you first to say brief about the CS profession. Then we'll have some interactive discussion about the profession and which will be very much useful and benefited for our students. Over to you.
Thank you, Dr. Jenaji, for that beautiful introduction. Well, welcome to all the students to this 15-day online EDP program. I'm indeed happy that our Directorate of Training under Dr. Jenaji has come out with this unique initiative of reaching to all the students through this 15 days unique executive development program. As he has rightly pointed out, these kind of programs, the executive development programs, are programs of such importance which bridges the gap between the budding professionals where they are and where they want to be. Indeed, Dr. Janaji, you have asked me the question with regard to the present day CS profession and how it is and all those things. But before I would just like to go a bit back.
Yeah.
There is a lot of difference when I, as a student,
Yeah.
started my career or my studies for the CS profession. When you say in terms of when you can compare with anything like which the Indians usually connect so well is the game of cricket. Suppose somebody says about Sachin Tendulkar, you can say when he was getting into in 1987, and today somebody asks him what is the difference between the game. There's a huge difference, day and night difference has happened. Similarly, in terms of profession, uh, those days of being a company secretary, the challenges were different, and today it is absolutely different. Today, the world is changing dynamically. Each day, we are faced with a plethora of laws, legislations which are changing day-to-day basis. We had grown in an era where when we were students, we were under the Companies Act 1956. Many of the students who have cleared the executive program are well aware of the old act also. In those days, technology was not so rapidly advanced and not used so much as it is today. So the changes were happening at a, you can say, at a much easier pace.
Yeah.
And so that all the professionals like us and students were also at a liberty to having kind of learning at a normal pace. But today, the expectation from the industry, expectation from the stakeholders, from the government has changed a lot, and we have to be on our we have to be always on alert so that our updation is up to date and we give correct advices to all the stakeholders. Lot of responsibilities has been placed on us so that the corporate India conducts its business smoothly, effectively, and with best governance practices in the country. Students, there's nothing to be afraid about hearing all these things. First of all, one must understand that you are now getting into a professional course. There's a lot of difference between an academic course and a professional course. Here, you are getting into the shoes of a professional. So today, with regard to the specific question, as far as today's role of a company secretary is concerned, you are in today's act, the major act which governs us is the Companies Act 2013, under which you are already named as a key managerial personnel, along with the CEO and the CFO. So it's a very, very unique position, coveted position, which has been exclusively given to us. We must understand that we may be perhaps be the only profession which has been recognized under a statute to be to act as a company secretary of a company. So we are a key managerial personnel. We have to act as a company secretary to the board and the company. The role of a company secretary in a company differs from one company to another, and many a times it depends upon this. I am just passing on through my experiences which I have also had, and I have also seen many of my co-professionals working, including various seniors who have been very successful in the profession. It all depends upon the individual. At the institute, we can give a platform where you are learning all the legislations, and we are also giving, now we are coming up with a lot of training programs and all, which bridges the gap with regards to the attributes one should have as a company secretary. But much depends upon you as an individual also, because a lot of times it happens that in particular company, one company secretary takes care about though generally you are going to be a specialist with regard to a company law is concerned, but in certain companies you will also look after the HR activities. You may be looking into the legal aspect, you will be looking into finance, you will be looking into some kind of export promotion zones, the marketing division, agreements, etc., etc. So it is a kind of a very unique position where you will be dealing in major areas of the corporate business. And the management, that is basically your managing director, your other directors, would depend upon you to make sure that all the entire gamut of activities which is moving around the company is happening in a proper legal framework. So that is a kind of position you are holding in. And friends, you must understand that from day one you become the company secretary, you will be reporting to the highest hierarchy in the company, most probably to your managing director. So expectations are huge, and it's necessary that you should not only equip with your knowledge, but you should also be well groomed. You should always be able to you should be always be able to document well, always be able to communicate well. These are the important attributes also you should develop along with your curriculum also. So it is these kind of training programs which actually bridges these gaps. So you must understand that even in this executive development program also, you must see a lot of sessions which also focuses on your skill development, your managerial skills, your documentation skill, your presentation skills, etc. So that is the purpose of holding such programs, and this also enables you how to take your practical training forward. Because once you complete this training, you have to go to the next step, is to your practical training. So this practical training will actually highlight what kind of roles, responsibilities which may fall upon a company secretary in the years to come. So you will get jobs, on the job training of various practical situations as far as the corporate legislations are concerned. You are expected to play a huge role as far the Companies Act, FEMA, labor laws, other allied laws, competition laws, insolvency and bankruptcy code. So there are a variety of opportunities. Today, once you become a company secretary, naturally, as per the Companies Act, there is a necessity for appointing one person as a company secretary. That is always there. In addition to that, the practicing opportunity has grown like anything.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to ask you.
Okay.
Because you are a person having expertise both in employment as well as in practice. So now we have got lot of recognition in the practice also.
Right.
After having that opportunity to appear before the NCLT.
Correct.
Then the secretarial audit has already been included.
Correct.
And it has created lot of window of opportunity for the practicing side also.
True.
So from your experience, what do you want to say to our students, that what are the challenges in the practice also, and what are the opportunities that they need to undertake?
Yeah, true. It's a very, very good question. Again, before coming into practice, I would like to also say that there are a lot of our members, if you see in the corporate India also, they have ended up reaching in such coveted positions at huge. So these are you are straight away, as an employee, you are straight away reaching to a very top level of the organization, and it depends upon you now how you take the next step forward. You even reach to the CEO level. There are many examples in our profession. So you are already been given an entry point at the highest level. Now coming to your specific query with regard to practice, dear students, we must understand that the opportunities which has come to us in the practicing field has come through a lot of efforts, lot of dedication by our previous council members, the entire work of the institute over a period of years. And today, we have ample opportunities in practice. So once you have become a qualified company secretary, you can also enter into practice, taking a certificate of practice from the institute. And again, there are a lot of areas in which one can practice. The Companies Act requires a lot of certifications which a practicing company secretary has to give. But again, though it is an opportunity, there is a lot of responsibility put on the company secretary. You can't just simply certify and keep quiet. You have to really do a lot of diligence before doing a certification. And it is, I can assure you that all the practicing company secretaries in the country are having a reasonably very good career. It's a great career for them, and remunerative wise, it's a very it's a good profession to have. But only thing, as far as an professional is concerned, you should always follow your ethics. You should always have proper diligence before taking up any work, and that will ensure your long-term growth. As far as opportunities are concerned, as I said, Companies Act already gives you plenty of opportunities. In these programs to come, you will understand, because I need not explain each and everything under the Companies Act. There are a lot of opportunities, including the certification of forms, including secretarial audit, which we have got under the Companies Act 2037. So there are a lot of big works. In Companies Act, you are recognized to appear before the National Company Law Tribunal and also the National Company Law Appellate Tribunal. So you are taking up the role of an advocacy there. So you understand the kind of opportunities you have been bestowed with under the Companies Act itself. Then the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, which has been recently brought out, you are recognized as an insolvency professional, which again, one must understand, it's again very, very unique position. And as a company secretary, you have been entrusted with that role also. You need some years of experience to become an insolvency professional after being a company secretary, which details you will study as you go along. So that again is a wonderful opportunity. Government is looking up at a lot of opportunities as far as insolvency and bankruptcy code is concerned. They are coming up with a lot of new schemes, including pre-packed insolvency. All those things are on the pipeline. So a lot of opportunities are there in that. Your corporate insolvency resolution process, your liquidation process, your voluntary liquidation process, entire thing has been covered under the insolvency and bankruptcy code. In addition to that, trademark laws. The company secretary is being recognized as a trademark agent in addition to the advocates. So again, a wonderful opportunity for young budding company secretaries. Even as you enter into practice, you can start straight away become trademark agents also. A lot of opportunities are there under that act. Then under Competition Act, under FEMA, under SEBI, there are a lot of work available, and this is going to keep on increasing. As our members are going to increase, as new members are getting into practice, new avenues we are going to take. We have got recognitions under the taxation laws, under the indirect taxation laws. So plenty of opportunities. So what I would advise to the latter part of your question, the advice part would be, all of you should be experts in company law, but in addition to that, take up certain other areas. Though all of you will study the other areas in the syllabus, but take interest in other areas such as FEMA, such as tax laws, such as insolvency, such as labor laws, HR, finance. Take up some other areas also, insurance, so that you can also build up taste for all those subjects, because this will enable you to be a game changer in the years to come, and you can be a specialist in these areas also. So my advice would be to please take up these areas. Keep one big advice to all the students would be to have a kind of daily reading of business dailies like Economic Times or Business Line or a Business Standard. This will keep you updated with regard to the economic reality of the nation, the changes which are happening. So you have to be in tune with the national governance. See, our role as company secretary also is going to change in the years to come with regard to governance is concerned. Governance of the country. We are now taking care as far as governance of companies are concerned. We are developing high caliber corporate governance professionals. But in the years to come, we also are looking at opportunities to be part in the national governance as far as panchayat governance is concerned, the local self-government governance is concerned. So there are areas in which opportunities are again going to emerge.
So definitely we are just moving forward. Dear students, here one thing I would like to highlight, or as you rightly said, that we have huge opportunity so far as the legal side is concerned, because now we are got that opportunity and eligible to appear before any tribunals in the country, including the NCLT, NCLAT, So now, in the trend, we are just seeing that most of our students are going for this secretarial practice and secretarial compliance. And as we understand that this NCLT, NCLAT, and appearing before all kind of tribunals and regulators, it requires a specific skills like legal skills, and there we need to directly develop that skills to counter the advocates or the lawyers, those who are also appearing in the same forum. So how will compete, or how our youngster, the students or the budding professionals, those who are entering into the professions, they need to develop their drafting skills, pleading skills, appearance skills, and what kind of technique they need to follow, so that they can generate their interest at this early stage, so that in future when they will enter into the profession, so they will be a successful professional to appear before the tribunals, and that credit will come to the institute as a recognition that you see the company secretaries are also at par with the lawyer. They are appearing before the different tribunals, and they are competing, because we are the experts in the corporate laws. Correct. So how do you want to address and motivate to the students to develop their drafting skills, legal skills, so that one day they will reach to that level of competing with the advocates and lawyers?
Very good question, Dr. Janaji. Actually, this is a very, very good question, and I'm indeed very happy that you have raised this. I think many of these questions will be there throughout the EDP program also, and in the days to come for the students. But dear students, having appeared in the NCLT many times, in NCLAT also, I would like to answer it in a different way. See, earlier what used to happen, even in my experience I can share, as far as a company secretary, once you complete your company secretaryship course, if you are a serious student and you do it properly, I can guarantee you that you will be one of the best as far as the documentation part is concerned. Yeah. So there will be no doubt that you are capable enough to document any kind of a brief which comes to you. So as far as your documentation, your preparation of your petitions, etc., are concerned, maybe you may require a bit of reading or understanding how the petitions are drafted in the years to come. That will suffice as far as your documentation process is concerned. So earlier what used to happen is that we used to do all these things. I will give you an example of, say, a company secretary is being assigned with a practicing company secretary is being assigned with a job of completing a merger process or a demerger process. Yeah. What used to happen is we used to do entire documentation. We used to complete the entire processes as far as filings are concerned, as far as the regulators are concerned in terms of dealing with the registrar of companies and the regional directors and all those things. So you can understand the volume of work when merger happens. It's a big work. It may go up to 6 to 8 months, one single work. But what used to happen was the final part of that work used to go to the company bench in the high courts, concerned high court. So entire work after what we all do, it goes to we have to hire an advocate who ultimately goes and does this. But now, since the NCLT has come into the picture, the entire gamut of this work can be done by a company secretary. I'm just giving an example there. Merger is one such, merger, demerger, company reorganization, and you can say operation and mismanagement. These are regular assignments which come to a company secretary as far as NCLT or NCLAT is concerned. And friends, I can tell with a lot of authority, lot of conviction today is that when I move around in different benches of the NCLT and NCLAT, what we see is that our members are performing better in many places than advocates. Yeah. I'll tell you why that is happening fundamentally. Fundamentally, that is happening because our grip as far as the basics of company law is concerned is very, very strong. There is no course in India which teaches company law at this depth. We know what form is filed for which purpose and all those things. But as far as an LLB student is concerned, unless he specializes in company law, the normal LLB portion which the Companies Act is covered is much less. So we are a specialist as far as Companies Act is concerned. Now, what is that we lack is the advocacy skills which we require at the tribunal. See, tribunal is not exactly a court of law. Tribunal, what happens, the law of evidence and the civil procedure code does not apply strictly. There the NCLT rules or the NCLAT rules applies. So law of evidence is not strictly applied. So it is not necessary that a practicing company secretary should be expert in the civil procedure or the evidence law. So you should not be afraid about all these things. What you must understand is, you must understand how the processes work, how a petition is filed, how an counter affidavit is filed, how people are pleading. So one of the important advice which, as a practicing professional, which I would like to give all the students is, whenever you have opportunities now after COVID, the physical hearings will start. Please identify the different benches near your place, wherever the NCLT bench is there. Please make a habit, those who are interested in taking a career in advocacy, in presentation, in taking up this practice forward, please go and sit. You can take a very light dress, maybe white shirt or a white dress preferably, and go and sit in the last two benches of the NCLT where visitors are allowed. Just sit there silently with your mobile phone switched off or in silent mode. Make sure that you do that. Please sit there patiently and start understanding the process and the way the company secretaries or other professionals like advocates present their case. I can tell you, if you sit for 1 or 2 or 3 months, you will start understanding the mannerism or the way people address. For example, just giving you an example is that if the tribunal member is there, normally advocates normally start addressing them as milords, my lordships. So these we are not used to as company secretaries, but this has an impact there. So these things you will start to understand the usages, how. So only these things lack as far as a company secretary student is concerned. This you will acquire as and when you start taking it seriously. Visit, sit there silently, see how the advocates and the company secretaries present their case, see how the tribunal members address them backwards. So this will give you a fair idea. And once you start practicing, you will get used to this. So this is not at all a difficult job. Only thing is that you are at an advantageous position. You must understand that you are the professional who are thorough in the subject, and you should do a diligence as far as your case law is concerned.
Yeah.
Other things will follow. So nothing to worry. I'm telling you, company secretaries are going to be the most successful professional in the bar, NCLT bar.
Yeah. Thank you for giving this insight, how to perform in the NCLT and the NCLAT, and what kind of, preparation is required for our students to enter into that areas. And I was just looking into your profile that you are also a qualified insolvency professionals. And the present insolvency and bankruptcy code has given us a lot of opportunities, and it's also a challenging field.
Yes.
So how do you find it, and how you do like to guide our budding company secretaries, those who are going to join to the profession, that they can opt this insolvency professional as a career?
See, insolvency professional has emerged out of the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016. It provides that as of now, a person who has 10 years of experience as a company secretary, chartered accountant, cost accountant, or an advocate can appear for an examination. Examination is a bit tough examination. But once you clear that examination and undertake the training requirements as prescribed by the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, you can take up and become an insolvency professional. But friends, see, you are all budding company secretaries. See, insolvency professional is one addition to your, in addition to your existing qualification. Insolvency professional has been given a responsibility of carrying out the entire insolvency process or the voluntary liquidation process. But that is a career you can take it after some point of time. There is no doubt that it is a very, very rewarding career, but it involves a lot of huge responsibilities. Many of you might have read through the case laws and the paper reports which come out, how many of the insolvency resolution process has already happened. For example, if you can see the SR Steel case or the other big names which have already come, wherein the companies which were all getting into liquidation has been brought back into existence by a kind of resolution process being in place. Similarly, voluntary liquidation, where companies could not carry on business, insolvency professional was involved to make sure that companies are liquidated at a good pace. But you all as a budding professionals, see, insolvency profession is one aspect only. But you as a company secretaries, practicing company secretaries, have got a lot of opportunities as far as making people understand what this insolvency process is.
Yeah.
For example, there are a lot of dues which a company has to pay. Some creditors have a lot of amount to be got from the company. You can invoke these provisions. You can be an advisor to them. You can take their petitions to the NCLT. You can advise them on insolvency process. At this moment, you may not be an insolvency professional, but you already are acting, guiding them how to take part in the insolvency resolution process. There are variety of opportunities, and you can be an advisor to the creditor. You can be an advisor to the insolvency professional. You can be also one more profession, Dr. Janaji, which is that a registered valuer profession.
Yeah. I was talking about that one only.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Please.
can also be a registered valuer under the registered valuer. Same. It is also for the time being under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code. Again, you are allowed to be a registered valuer after you become a company secretary. You have to again pass an examination there. There also you can do valuation of securities. For example, some companies want to issue shares. You can do valuation and give a valuation report. So exciting careers are there.
Yeah. Definitely. And one of the opportunity that has been given to us about the secretarial audit, and as I understand that you have made number of secretarial audits. So what is your experience of conducting this secretarial audit, and how the students they need to prepare themselves in future when they are joining the profession? Then how they will start this secretarial audit, and what kind of that carefulness and the sincerity that they need to maintain, or the precautions they have to take when they are just signing a secretarial audit report?
See, secretarial audit report is for the time being required for bigger companies.
Yeah.
Okay. And secretarial audit is not same as far as financial audit is concerned. Secretarial audit again is a process.
Yeah.
You have to have a team first of all.
True.
So you have to start building a team. You have to understand the process of the company, and it involves, again, the idea behind the secretarial audit is that your governance process, as far as your entire corporate process, starting from your board management system to your entire compliance system, your governance, basically GRC, governance, risks and compliance. It is a GRC actually, governance, risk and compliance audit. So all the three aspects are taken care as far as secretarial audit is concerned. It is a futuristic audit which enables the board and the shareholders and the stakeholders to ensure that the company is in good shape. So there are a lot of things other than financial informations which are required as far as stakeholders are concerned to ensure that the company is doing value addition, wealth creation is there as far as shareholders are concerned. So there are a lot of aspects, and it is again giving an immense opportunity as far as company secretaries are concerned, because our report is being considered at such high esteem. So basically this you will get trained as because you are just entering your course, professional course, but this you will slowly start learning as you complete your curriculum and you start getting practical training in big firms who do the secretarial audit. Again, that is another aspect I am saying. Sir. But in addition to that, Dr. Janaji, these are what Dr. Janaji you are just speaking are all statutory things.
Yeah.
But what I am saying is that friends, you should look beyond these statutory things. For example, one company, I am giving you a lot of success stories. I am not naming any company secretary. There are a lot of company secretaries who just do diligence.
Okay.
For example, there is a company secretary in Bangalore or somewhere who has got a big firm who just do diligence. So what they do, for example, any foreign investor is coming and investing in a company, or any Indian investors for that matter are investing in some particular company. They look at a due diligence report from good firms, They mostly rely on advocate firms. But now that space is so slowly being acquired by a good company secretary or a good firm of company secretaries. Why? Because we are able to give them a great diligence report as far as that particular company is concerned. Why? Because financial audit has got its own limitation.
Yeah.
But a diligence report from a company secretary gives the entire aspects of their GRC again.
Okay.
Governance, risk and compliance status as far as an investor is concerned, because he is putting in money.
Yeah.
So this is a very, very rewarding job, because you may be a consultant for a investment of say 1,000 crores, 2,000 crores, 20,000 crores, 50,000 crores. You can understand one assignment is required for you for the 5 years.
True.
That will, so please also think beyond the statutory recognition. That should be one of your objectives, and that is where the profession should also grow. We should not have a few people. We should have many people taking care about these aspects.
Yeah, gone are the days of the secretarial compliance only. Now the company secretary need to be multi-skilled and multi-dimensional.
Definitely.
Yeah, definitely, and I will definitely try to bring a kind of training structure where students will have a lot of flexibility to opt their career in a specific path, so that in future we can have specialized as well as some multi-skilled and multi-dynamic company secretaries.
Correct. I think I must compliment you, Dr. Janajit. Our intention of our institute today is to bring out multi-dimensional skills within the company secretary.
Yeah.
He cannot be a straight jacket officer just looking after Companies Act. That day, as you rightly point, those days have gone.
Yeah, definitely, sir. And generally the students after joining the professor or becoming the member of the institute, generally they try to get jobs, and they join as a compliance officer in the company or as a company secretary. And what is their career progression? What is their future prospects? And what are the best practices or the achievements that we see in the profession? And what is the ladder that they can go up to and till their retirement or till their future progression? And what are the scope that you just visualize? And what are the success stories that you have already come across? If you can give some examples, then that will be a kind of motivation for our students.
Thank you. And that Dr. Janaji, actually, as I said, once you become a company secretary and you get into the companies, various companies as compliance officer or a company secretary, you are already on a great hierarchy, because you are directly interacting with the board and your managing director. Your managing director will be the person with whom you would have daily interaction. So that you must understand, that kind of interaction is not available with any other profession who gets into the employment corporate from day one. So this gives you a lot of scope. As I told you in the beginning itself, that already your entry point the institute has ensured. Institute has given you a step to get into at a good position now. Now much depends upon that particular person, how he takes forward other things. That is why I said these type of trainings are now, we have made it very much essential. Even if after your completion of your professional course also, we still have a leadership development program wherein we'll further focus on these attributes. See, you need to understand that world is changing, dynamic changes is there. For example, you are getting into a company, you may have to take up certain roles which you might not have theoretically learned, but you should be so dynamic enough that particular changes you can handle. And it is because you are already in that particular position in the TMT, that is a top management team, or the KMP, key managerial personnel. What stops you from going further? There are n number of examples where company secretaries have become chief business officers, they have become CEOs of the companies, and they are all at a very high pedestal. Because if I keep on naming, it would not look nice at this stage. But otherwise, there are a lot of examples where people have reached. But again, I said, it is not that everybody will get a chance. It is definitely that all company secretaries who are getting into this profession must understand that much also depends on them. Institute has already given them the platform, but they should now start inculcating lot of other attributes, other qualities. I'll just give you one more example from one of our past president. Again, I'm not naming the person, whom I have known very closely. he has told me that when he passed his 10th standard, he passed in the local medium.
Okay. Local language.
Local language medium. He never had an exposure to English at that level. And then he understood that the course, then he also did his law graduation and his CS. At that point of time also he was having this problem with his English language, but he made it a point that he will read all the business dailies. He started focusing on his English, and today I can tell you, Dr. Janaji, that in many of the law libraries and many of the other places, you will find a lot of his materials available. All these learned people are reading his books.
Yeah.
So, I mean to say, nothing is impossible.
Sure. Definitely.
So, it all depends upon the person also.
Yeah.
How you do. But what I am saying, emphasizing again is, the institute has already put you in the right platform.
Yeah.
Plus, we are also finding out the factors, key attributes which has to be filled up through the training process.
Yeah.
That also we are adding up through this training process.
Yeah, definitely, sir. Because the beauty of this course is that we are having the practical training, rigorous practical kind of training, which that other general courses are not having, as you rightly pointed out at the beginning. And what is the purpose of this practical training? We are getting the knowledge from the theoretical aspect from our study materials, what we are just referring for qualifying the exam. But now it is the time to learn the skills and how to get this hand-on experience from this practical training, which will be really useful in the future for the students. And that this entire practical training for 21 months, what we are going to have in the new training structure, will definitely help our students to inculcate those skills which will be useful for a successful professional in future. So these are the main purpose of our practical training, and we are having a complete session on the training structure and what will be the requirements for that, and how to register for this practical training, and what will be the duration, and which are the kind of firm who can impart the practical training. We are having a complete sessions that will talk separately. So now I'm coming to the next aspect, that is about the future prospect, because now there is a lot of changes in the technology. We are going to face the artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and so much latest technology are coming to the system. So in that situation, how do you find that the CS profession or the future of this profession, and how challenging it is going to be, or how the present students, they need to develop themselves with respect to the IT skill is concerned to become a successful professional in future?
Again, these questions are now the usual question for any profession, for that matter, not only company secretary. These questions will keep coming because, see, today's world, as I said, it is very, very dynamic. Artificial intelligence is a real challenge. And there are reports from international agencies that by the end of 2036, around 10 lakh legal jobs will be
going to be
vanished, and it will be all more automated. But friends, having said all those things, see, artificial intelligence at whatever aspect, at whatever level it may grow, it cannot replace the humans. At no place it cannot replace humans. See, if artificial intelligence is there, it is going to be there, it is going to be in an advanced stage in the years to come. But we as company secretaries, what we have to do, see, there are a lot of procedural work, like a lot of routine works, etc., like filling the forms, etc., certification of form, etc., etc., is there. See, there could be a challenge that these may get automated, but your intelligence, your capability as far as implementing the governance is concerned, implementing the highest standards is concerned, this is not going to go anywhere away. See, you have to use the artificial intelligence. For example, I can give you an example. Let's say you are now a successful professional and you are appearing before the NCLT. So how do you use your artificial intelligence? Your artificial intelligence will enable you to come to clear conclusions. As far as, for example, you can search your case laws. Maybe with minor detections can be found out. You can come out with the exact requirement which you need to present. So artificial intelligence is there. But how does the artificial intelligence, how do you use that artificial intelligence is going to be your challenge. So please, understand that the era is changing, not only to our profession, even say, let us say, even medical profession.
Yeah.
There are challenges that tomorrow robots may come and operate,
Yeah.
but there also human intelligence will not be replaced at the end of the day. Somewhere or the other, human intervention is required. And similarly, company secretary also will have to have a system where you use the artificial intelligence rather than you being sidelined by artificial intelligence. So that is our focus. In institute also we are focusing a lot, and our future syllabus, future training orientation is also towards that. How do we use and put artificial intelligence to our best use, so that our future professionals can be multi-skilled and are in a place where we can use our knowledge in a better way. And we are also using technology in such a way that many of our own institutes, you might have already seen the changes happening. Entire structure of the institute is getting digitalized. We have reduced a lot of our paperwork. So this does not mean that institute has replaced the employees. Still, I feel that we have more work to do in that. Similarly, in all your area, artificial intelligence is only going to add value to you rather than it replacing you. It all depends upon you. Again, it is you as an individual, as a professional, who needs to take this forward.
Yeah, thank you for explaining all these aspects of the present day CS profession and what are the challenges that we are going to face, and at the same time covering some aspects of the success stories of the CS profession. And thank you very much. But dear students, one thing I would like to say here, that what is the objective of this executive development program. So we are going to tell you within this 15 days of online EDP as well as 15 days of this physical mode of EDP, to giving you the basic knowledge and basic ideas how you will perform yourself, how you will behave yourself in the company when you are going to join for a longer period, which is most of the crucial period of your life, that is the 21 months practical training. So you need to prepare yourself as an executive. So who is an executive? Executive is a person who can present himself better, who can communicate better, who can draft the things in a better manner, and who can feel or who can create his presence in a situation. He is called an executive. So that kind of aptitude, that kind of preparedness is required among yourself before we are sending you to a company or a firm to start your practical training. That is one of the key objective of our executive development program, which we have extended. Earlier also it was there for 8 days, then we extended to 15 days. Now we are feeling that it should be around 30 days or 1 month period, so that you will come to know all the aspects of the practical training. You will get some ideas which can be exercised or implemented during your long term training period in various industries and with also the company secretaries. So dear friends, as secretary has rightly said, that it is that we are just giving you a being a company secretary, we are just going to give you an entry ticket. So that does not mean that you will be a very successful. It depends upon your own caliber, it depends upon your own preparedness and how to develop yourself, how to build yourself, how to groom yourself. This practical training is one of the best opportunity where you can learn all the practical aspects which can be implemented in future to be a success professionals. So I with this, thank you very much, sir, for sparing your time.
Thank you. And again, I would also request all the students to please take your EDP program very, very seriously. Each session, please take it very seriously. And I wish all the students a very successful career ahead.
Thank you very much. Thank you, students. Okay.